Cool. The meat.
No, not yet. Not yet works.
Cool. I'm going to talk about the Miga data viewer. What's going on? Oh, this is the PDF. Okay. Hello. Okay. This is the PDF version. Right. Okay, so this is what is it? It's an open source PHP and JavaScript based generic viewer for structured data. I wrote it in 2013, completed a few months ago. It's at migadv.com, and I'd encourage you to click on that already in the interests of time. It's not Semantic MediaWiki. In fact, it's not even MediaWiki, and it's not a wiki, and it's not part of the semantic web. Anything else? I guess that's all the stuff it's not. So why am I talking about it here? There are a few very important connections to Semantic MediaWiki. It was directly inspired by Semantic MediaWiki. It shares a very similar approach in terms of flexibility of data storage and data structure. And maybe most importantly, it can be used as a mobile offline interface for viewing Semantic MediaWiki data. So, what is it? In short, you set up a bunch of CSV files containing your data, and those can be imported from spreadsheets or databases or wikis or what have you. And then you have a very small .ini file where you explain this column is this column is this, and I'll show you what that means later. But it's very lightweight, and that's it. And it also comes with some helper scripts to create the CSV files in the first place if you're trying to extract the data from Wikipedia or Wikidata or what have you. And based just on that, it takes a smart approach to filtering and display. It tries to do the right thing based on the types of data, the data types, the size of the data, and so on. And it gives it an app-like interface, trying to approximate what you see in mobile apps. So the way it does it is using this technology called WebSQL, which is in HTML5 and comes standard in most browsers, which is essentially just SQLite on the browser. It also puts its code on the browser, so you have both the code and the data on the browser, which can be your cell phone, so it can work offline, and it works on all major browsers, both laptops and mobile, except for IE and Firefox. And how big an issue that is depends on that's a matter of opinion. So let's do some demos. Let me go here to migadv.com. And I encourage you to try this, especially if you have a mobile device or an iPad or something. But whatever it is, click on one of these. I'll just try one of these. I guess, well, given the first birthday of Wikidata, I'll go with the data that comes from Wikidata, although this data is not very exciting. You can see it loading there. It's loading the data into the browser. And now at this point, if I were to take this computer offline or into airplane mode or whatever it's called, I could still operate this the same way. And please feel free to try it out to see for yourselves. At the top here are the filters that it creates, and essentially each of these is a column from the CSV file that powers this thing. So I can drill down. This is sort of a similar interface to semantic drill down, but you have a graphical element that goes with it. Here are all the countries that are tagged as speaking English, either officially or unofficially. I don't know what it is. I can click by form of government. So here, according to Wikidata, are the 3 countries that have English, speak English, and have a parliamentary system. So all of this comes to you for free with Miga. All you have to supply essentially is the CSV data. So yeah, I would show you another demo, but in the interests of time, I'm not going to do that. But there are plenty of other demos. Actually, maybe I should show a demo with maps. I don't know if anybody wants to see. Okay, forget it. Okay, let me show it anyway. I mean, I spent so long on this thing. Where's a demo with maps? Okay, here is data. This was extracted from Infobox data in Wikipedia of all the parks in the world. And a lot of them are tagged as having coordinates too. It's loading this into the database. So now I have here, you can, for any state of the filters, you can view the list or you can view it in map form. This will just take a second. This is just using Google Maps. You can also use open layers, much like Semantic Media Wiki. Here we go. So now, if I can drill down, I want only the giant parks. And actually, you can keep drilling down. Okay, I want all the parks that are between 3,000 and 8,000 acres. Here they are, and you can keep going like that. And again, so that was Wikidata and Wikipedia. You could extract this data from a regular wiki, from an SMW-powered wiki, etc. And of course, if it's semantic, it's a lot easier to extract the data and requires a lot less massaging of the data. Here's what a schema file looks like. This is for another demo which involved jazz musicians. These are the names of the columns on this side, and then each one gets its type. Entity is equivalent to the page property in SMW. A lot of these others are similar, or you can sort of guess what they mean. You can specify, just as in with SMW and the array map function, you can specify whether it holds a list of values or just one value, and so on. So this is all you need. I mean, there's nothing else, just the data and something like that. So how can it help SMW users? There's a small subset of wikis that just use SMW because it's so convenient to do querying and create maps and all that, but don't actually want to use it as a wiki. So this, in theory, could be used as a much easier approach for that kind of thing. And the other thing is it can just serve as a mobile and or offline friendly interface for this kind of data. And then finally, could the lessons learned from this help SMW itself? Semantic drill down, which I also maintain, actually has already taken on some of these some of the lessons learned. I took out a bunch of the special properties you can use to define the input types on the theory that the software can do that on its own, can figure out based on the size and nature of the data what the ideal display format is. And then it's just sort of some open-ended questions, if we think about it. If we know that all the pages in a category have coordinates, maybe we should just display a map automatically instead of requiring someone to do it. And same with date properties, calendars or timelines, depending on the layout of the date information. Maybe all categories should just display all their data in a table without requiring any additional setup work. Maybe each property should show a distribution graph of its values just out of the box. It was a lot of this development work was funded by the Wikimedia Foundation through an individual engagement grant, so I want to thank them for that. This makes use of jQuery and Google Maps and open layers, and of course web SQL. So those are all really cool. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, question.
Hi, yeah. Well, congratulations for the extension. I guess it has already been said in the list, no? I didn't comment. It's web SQL, no? I think the offline storage.
That's
Are you expecting in the future that could be moved maybe to PAST or something of compatibility with IndexedDB or?
Yeah, there's sort of a controversy because WebSQL is, in theory, it's been replaced by IndexedDB. In practice, IndexedDB has a lot of problems with it, and the browser vendors are still supporting WebSQL. I don't want to get into the conflict about it, but I think it's too powerful for them to abandon. I think it's here to stay.
Thank you. Is the Miga data viewer version dependent on the wiki, or is there any problems associated with that?
It is not. It is. It should be clear about it. It is not a MediaWiki extension. It does not have any reliance on MediaWiki code. It gets data from a CSV file and a schema file, and then it has some scripts that let you just create CSV data based on wikis and so forth.
Yeah.
That's the only
So
connection.
does the delivery of the CSV file enable anybody else to recreate the MediaWiki on a machine? Is there a security thing there?
I'm not sure if I understand the question. Obviously if it's public data, then there's no problem. If you're talking about private data, then it's just a matter of putting the MegaDB installation behind the same firewall that you have the wiki, and so it shouldn't be an issue either.
Okay, thanks very much.
Are there any plans for a MegaDB result format?
No. In theory, it might be possible to put the whole thing into an iframe within the wiki page. That's all I can think of as far as that's concerned.
Just about, not to put it in an iframe, but so people can generate portable data quickly. You know, just wondering.
Yeah, sure, but you know, it extends beyond just a wiki. I mean, the idea is to be able to embed it into just another web page. That would be cool to have. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Yaron.
Okay, cool.
Are we moving on? Do we have a break or